Hey, so did you want to make your own tarot card deck? Well, you're in the right place. I am Cassandra the card reader, and I made my own tarot deck in 2013, which you can download for free from my website. This is the link here, tarot card reading, quickcardreading.com, free tarot card images. I will put that in the description box so you don't have to remember it or go there now. So let's talk a little bit about like why you might want to do your own tarot card deck and why you might want to do it fast, and then we'll talk about the fast medium. So why might you want to do a tarot deck quickly? You might be learning the tarot, and this might be a good way for you to get to know the cards, because I trust me, it is. I totally agree with that. It is a good way to get to know the cards. You just might want to create a deck for yourself that you're more connected to. You might want to sell it, but I wouldn't necessarily say doing a deck quickly is the best strategy if you want to sell it. Maybe you want to spend more time, but maybe you want to do a first draft of a deck. So, like, you have an idea and you're like, oh, let me do, might be a good idea to go through and make a deck quickly, make that first draft, and then learn what you learn, and then you can go back and do it quote unquote better, or or whatever, after you've learned something. um, so if you want to do a deck quickly, some of the quicker mediums that you can use are electronic mediums, obviously, like Canva, Photoshop, Procreate. Obviously that's going to be quick. But you can also hand draw things. You can use pen and ink. You can use colored pencil. This card that I have on the slide here is the Wild Unknown, and that's pen and ink. So, you can totally do that. Think about zines. If you're my age and you were in high school or college in the 80s, we all read zines, because this was pre-internet, people, pre-internet. So people had these Xerox. It was basically like a Xerox magazine called a zine that got distributed. So some of them were kind of comic booky, but not necessarily. Not necessarily. But there was a lot of art and stuff in there. But it's just very black and white, easy to reproduce, like that kind of idea. So you might want to think on that for a moment. And like I said, this can be a first draft. So think about it. If I needed 100 copies of this deck in 30 days, how would I do it? Like, that might be something to think about. So let's dig in a little bit here. The tarot deck has 78 cards. So that's a lot, especially compared to some other decks like Lenormand that have 36, or, some Oracle card decks have a lot, but, like 30, 35 maybe in an Oracle card deck. So you're taking on kind of a project with a tarot deck, is what I'm trying to tell you. So there are 22 major arcana cards, 56 minor arcana cards, 10 numbered cards plus 4 court cards in each suit. So that is 40 numbered cards plus 16 court cards, which is that 56 minor cards added to the 22, you get 78. So you see what's ahead of you. So an easy way to do the pip cards is to do them like playing cards. You can see I've got the 10 of diamonds pictured here. So the 10 of diamonds is 10 diamonds on the card. That's what the 10 of diamonds is. The 3 of spades is 3 spades on the card. That's how it works. So you can do that. It's a little boring, but you can do that. But you can jazz it up a little bit, like this example on the right here. That's like a Marseille or a Marcel's deck. That's how they were pre-Rider-Waite. They didn't have like little scenes on them. They just had however many of the suits. So this one on the right here is a 4 of wands. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 wands, and that's the 4 of wands. And it has some little embellishments, so that kind of adds to the something for your intuition to work with. And there are things you can do with that. So here's some other examples that we've got the two of swords here. We've got the aces. I think we're used to seeing embellished aces from playing cards. This is the ace of wands. This is a two of pentacles. This is an example of, there's all kinds of playing cards now that have like super fancy numbered cards. Now, obviously, if you're spending a lot of time on that, you're not doing it quickly. But I'm just saying, there are just little things you could do where you could just still have the number of the suit, the number of objects of the suit, and just have little embellishments that would be very quick, that you wouldn't have to spend a ton of time on. And they would be interesting. So it's just something to think about. Here's a few more examples. This is like a 9 of cups, a 2 of pentacles, a 9 of pentacles here. Just different stuff. You can get an idea across without getting too involved, is my point. Okay. So here in more examples, this is a deck of playing cards. I have this pack of dogs. I love it. I just couldn't not buy it because it was so cute how they did it with the dogs. But once again, that's involved. That's not quick. But I'm just showing you can be super creative with the numbered cards if you want it. So there you go. So some tips or ideas on making a tarot deck quickly. You can use 3x5 or 4x6 index cards. So that way, you make a mistake, you just throw it away, you get another one. It's like not a big, no, this is like you're doing it by hand, you're not doing it electronically. You can just get a stack of index cards and go to town. Go to town with your index cards. Have fun. You can leave space for keywords and notes. So like if this is a personal deck for you, if you're learning tarot or whatever the case may be, leave space. Put your own notes in there. Go for it. It's your deck. You can do what you want. You can add additional cards. Like if you're like, hey, I really think that this needs to be added to the tarot deck, this concept, add it. Go for it. You can put yourself in the deck, just like Joanna Powell Colbert did. She created the Gaian Tarot. This is the Gaian Tarot. She put herself in it. She's on the 9 of Earth. So there you go. And that's a little magical, but we're not talking about tarot magic right now. But if you start doing stuff like that, that's a little tarot magic happening there. So I hope you're getting excited about making your own deck, because I'm getting excited talking about it. I'm getting very excited. Okay, moving on. I just want to point out that size matters when you're doing electronic stuff. So on screen and in print are two different things. And so that's another plus for working on index cards, because you have the actual size in front of you. So just make sure your details are still visible when reduced, because it's totally different looking at a screen and then a printed card. So there are 16 court cards, which is King, Queen, Knight, Page of these suits, which are Wands, Cups, Swords, and Pentacles. That equals 16. So that's your mission. Court cards can be very pure personal. That's a lot of people have trouble with the court cards when they're learning, because they can't really relate to them. And a lot of some of the older decks, the court cards are very stiff, and you're like, oh, who is that? What is going on there? I don't know. So when you make your own deck, you can, like I said, you can put yourself in there, you can put your family members in there, you can put your boss and your coworkers, you can put your friends, you can put the mayor of your town, you can do all kinds of things. So like, here's an example. I found this on Pinterest or something. There's some dude, this is the 4 of Cups. Like that's a highly to whoever made that's a highly personalized card, but even we can relate to that, even though we don't know this person that's on the card. But that's pretty simple. I mean, that's a pretty simple card to make. That probably did not take, I don't know, but it probably didn't take that person hours and hours to create that card. So that's something you can do very quickly. So like I said, you can put pop culture in there. Just be thinking about what qualities you want each of the court members to have. Like, what kind of qualities do you want the kings to have? What kind of qualities do you want the queens, the pages, the knights? A lot of times you'll see decks where they flip the sexes on things. Like, There might be kings that are female and knights that are female, and then maybe they call them something else. So I don't really want to get into that because that can get kind of complicated and confusing, but just know that you have that option. And then also think about color palette. That's the, excuse me, the easiest way to convey the suit is by you have a certain color palette for each suit so that it's like immediately recognizable. So that's just notes there. Um, when you get to the majors, the major arcana, you could just rework what already exists. Um, so by that I mean the Rider Waite images that done by Pamela Coleman Smith. Is that her name? Yeah, that's her name. I was getting Joanna Powell Colbert mixed up. I was like, wait, is that her name? Yeah, so the Pamela Coleman Smith images, those are no longer in copyright, and you can look them up if you look up the pictorial key to the tarot. I didn't make a slide of that, but the pictorial key to the tarot, you can get those images. And so, like as an example here, I removed the background on the hangman and put a different background in there. There you go. Or I have, this is the high priestess, and I made her black and white, and then you can just add like one color, something like that. That's a way that you can get through those cards fast. And that, the major are kind of the most symbol heavy ones, and so that that might be a quick way for you to get through them. Also, when you're doing the majors, you might want to think like what are the minimal elements of that card that I can use, or the minimal symbols of that card. So like this one here with the sun, that is the Biddy Tarot. So this is the sun card. So there's the sun and the kid on the horse, and that's it. And like the flowers ended up on the horse. So it's like minimal elements of the sun card, and that's the sun card. And then this is a stock photo. And so that's another thing you can do is browse stock photos, because you will find tarot card sets on these, in these stock photo collections. And I'm not saying use them necessarily, but what I'm saying is get some ideas, because all of those that's what they are. They're like, almost all of them are like, they have taken the concept of that card and just use the minimal elements. So this person, whoever did this judgment card, said, okay, judgment card is it's a tombstone and a hand coming out of the grave, and the trumpet of the angel. Like that's their key elements of the judgment card. So like, what would yours be? This devil card, I don't remember if this is like, if it's some app that you can download, or if it's, I don't think it's a stock photo. I think it might be that app, but I don't remember what it's called. But it doesn't really matter. Whoever did this one was like, okay, devil card is the devil and these two like ghosts that look like they're part of a video game, and a couple of pentacles. They decided that's the key elements of the devil. So there you go. You can do something like that. So you are free to download the deck that I created at my website, quickcardreading.com. I will put the link in the description. And also, I am creating a tarot card class that I would love for you to be in. And so if you want to get on the wait list for that class, and you would like to give me some feedback about what you're looking for as far as creating a tarot deck, I would love you to join this list, and that way you will be notified about the class, and you can help me make the class. So send me pictures of your creations. Send them to me. I want to see them. I want to see what you come up with. And there's me having fun at the end. So yeah, so let me know what your questions are. What do you still want to know about creating your own tarot deck? I'm dying to know. Let me know, and I'll talk to you next time.